I know, it's not exactly Marvel. I just wanted to capture a silly comic book feel. GameMasters here, and this video is us exploring how combat works in the Marvel Multiverse role-playing games playtest book. Now, we've done a few videos on this game, and this one will be considered a bit more in-depth. As such, there may be some terms that we bring up that are specific to this game. I've brought them up in past videos, so if you're unsure of what term I use, feel free to just ask me about it, or even better, take a look at the playlist. I'll post that towards the end of the video. In this game, players will take turns citing what they are going to do. I'm going to eye laser Thanos, or I'm going to web Thanos' feet, or I'm going to smash Thanos. Once everyone has declared what they will do on their turn, that begins the round. Each round lasts roughly 5 seconds. The sequence of play for combat is as follows. You will determine your positions where everyone is on the map. Hawkeye may be in a blown out 13th floor window. Hulk may be on the side of a building, and Iron Man may be zipping through the sky. Captain America may be just on the ground charging. As we move through this, I think you'll find that terrain and miniatures might be a good help, if anything, just to provide a good visual. But like in Dungeons & Dragons, terrain and miniatures are not necessary. Next, you will roll initiative checks to determine who goes first. At the start of each combat, each player will roll their D616 and add their initiative modifier to that number. In this instance, botched rolls do not exist, but if you get a fantastic roll, that's 2 6s and a Marvel roll, you get a bonus round that allows you to perform an action before combat begins. Otherwise, the player with the highest initiative goes first. In the event of a tie, you have a roll-off. Initiative stays the same for each fight, but once that fight is over and a new one begins, initiative is rolled anew. Next, I'd like to thank DJ Vu for supporting me over on my Patreon, and I'd love to ask that if you're enjoying this video to please give it a thumbs up. It really helps my channel to grow, and I genuinely thank you kindly for that. Next, you describe what your character is going to do. During your turn, you can take an easy action. This would be activating an ability, communicating with someone, grabbing an ally that, of course, you can reach, interacting with an object, or maintaining your action. You also get one standard action. This too is activating or maintaining your ability, helping an ally, dodging an attack, grabbing an enemy, or otherwise attacking. And we'll cover attacking in just a moment. You also get one movement action during your turn. Locomotion, however your character moves, whether it's flying, gliding, running, sneaking, or even just walking. Attacking. There are 2 forms of attacking: right up face-to-face melee and ranged. Hawkeye will generally be doing ranged attacks, while Hulk will generally perform face-to-face melee attacks. Different powers can boost those attacks, and while the general rule of thumb for ranged is that anything beyond 200 feet cannot be attacked, there may be a power or 3 that can allow for that. Once everyone has taken their turn, if the bad guys are still in need of being subdued, combat continues. You go back to determining your positions. And I am purposely leaving specific numbers out of this video. There are many different variables that can come into play. You've got assorted powers, terrain, makeshift weapons. Shucks, even someone's size can have an impact on the numbers rolled and the damage dealt. Speaking of, let's cover how damage is dealt and mitigated. To determine damage, you will roll your 3d6 and add whatever modifier. For example, if Iron Man is blasting someone with his palm energy blast weapon, it will do ranged energy damage. And keep in mind that both fight damage and ranged damage's numbers are going to be found on your character sheet. Again, different variables will impact what those actual numbers are. Because you are a hero, you can choose to hold back when attacking in an attempt to not actually kill your target. This is less of a rolled mechanic and more of a quick discussion that you'll have with your narrator. You may very well roll enough to dish out lethal damage, but you can simply tell the narrator that you want to subdue the target instead of just slaughtering them and killing them. For damage mitigation, you will gain lost health and focus equal to your rank for every hour you simply sit back and take it easy. You'll double that for every hour that you sleep. There are also conditions that you may be faced with from time to time. Getting cut and bleeding, having sand thrown in your face and being blinded, being paralyzed, knocked out. Again, a variety of variables here, with different ones having an impact on your actions. I mean, if you are paralyzed, you can't really do much unless you have like Professor X type powers. Combat in this game isn't overly complex, but it is very situational, especially once you add in all the terrain, superpowers, and possible conditions. Fighting in the streets of New York is going to be vastly different than fighting on a trash heap on Sakaar. Once you tie in a good story, combat is going to add spice and pepper to the situation. As we mentioned at the top of this video, we've covered some terms that have popped up in past videos. And if you'd like to check those out, check this playlist out here. My next video is going to go into detail about what's really working in this game and what isn't. Let me know in the comments below what you like about the game and, well, what you don't. And until next our paths cross, may you not get zocked.